On today's Toy Spot, we're going to be having a look at the DC Direct Batman Arkham Asylum figures. This is Series 1, and we're looking today at Scarecrow. I think of all the figures in the Series 1 of Arkham Asylum, Scarecrow probably was the easiest to find. You could probably still find him in most local comic book stores. The Harley Quinns and the Jokers and the Batmans thoroughly picked over. I think if you had to label this guy as anything, he might be the peg warmer from the set. I think he was also in a larger quantity per case as well. It certainly made for having this figure a little easier to find. The package features the Batman mask, complete with the ears, and in the back we've got the really cool backdrop from the game. Really like it. The Scarecrow also really pops out really well on the back card too. As with most of the other figures from the Arkham Asylum wave, the packaging a great choice to go with. I think it's one of these things where if you walk into a comic book store, likely these would be one of the first figures you would look at, just because everything pops on the way that the packaging was designed. On the back of the package, other figures you can get in the wave aside from Scarecrow, we've got Batman, we've got Harley Quinn, and we've got the Joker with Scarface. There is a read-up, but it only stems to describe the game, and I've read that for the Batman figure, so I'll save all you guys the time of having me to talk about it again, because I know sometimes in the past I've talked about packaging and I've talked a lot about this and I go a lot like this, and you guys wish I would just shut up, and then I would open this up and then I would talk about the figure. So I'm not going to talk too much about this, and instead I'm just going to say I'm going to open this up and let's have a look at the figure. So anyways, what we're going to do is we're going to open this up and we will have ourselves a better look at Scarecrow. There is more on the way, guys. Don't go anywhere. Scarecrow benefits from the fact that he comes with a display stand, the same display stand that actually comes with every other Batman Arkham Asylum figure. As generic as it is, yes, it is very generic. It's got nothing on it whatsoever. I would say, unfortunately though, Scarecrow does need the display stand. Perhaps maybe on a harder surface, maybe it wouldn't be a big issue. But I know certainly for reviewing this guy, he is very hard to stand. He's certainly very hard to stand. We'll take him actually off the display stand. We'll just put that to the side. The other accessory that Scarecrow comes with is a bag. A very nicely sculpted bag, as you can see, stitched up. Looks very cool. Not necessarily the easiest thing to get in his hand. You kind of have to pry his fingers, and as you pry the fingers, quickly rush in there and try to get the bag in between the fingers. If you're successful enough, you have something like this. If you're not successful, the bag's probably still on the ground right now and you're cursing the figure. Scarecrow, similar to the Harley Quinn, has a made-up costume, that he has made, I guess, himself. I don't think there's anybody that's helped him dress himself. He's probably just gone around and he's picked out his own clothes. And I think actually he's very successful. Guy clearly knows how to dress. I like the face quite a bit. For a makeshift costume, his mask is very scary. Original with some of the added touches to the mask, but still utilizing what I think many people would perceive as a Scarecrow style of face. He's also got himself a hood, almost similar to that of the Hobgoblin, although I shouldn't be mixing Marvel with DC. I like the head quite a bit. Also a familiar trait of Scarecrow is the noose. He's got that on his costume as well. A lot of this really nice stitch work. He's also got it. He's got a bit of not a loincloth, but a very similar idea here. with the roping just keeping everything together. Clearly you can see, looking at the figure itself, that this is a villain that has just thrown together as much as he can, taken rags, ropes, anything he can get his hands on, and crafted a very crude yet very successful costume out of it. Something else that Scarecrow has done is he's crafted a I guess fear toxin type syringe glove, very similar to that of Freddy Krueger. Very cool. Kind of reminds me of the Dream Warriors. Freddy Krueger's got these syringe hands and he says, "Let's get high." But a lot of detail work on it. You got the hoses running from, I guess, the tubes containing the liquid running right into the syringed hands. Unfortunately, the syringes appear to be like a rubbery plastic, so you kind of might have some warpage. You might have them slightly warped when you take them out of package, but I think they still look very, very cool. Very cool, very cool. In Scarecrow's articulation, he has a ball-jointed head, which allows him to get a lot of movement. Surprisingly, you would think the way his head is sculpted, it would hinder a lot of it, but luckily, no. It's not hindered really at that much at all. He has a pin and socket jointed shoulder, allow the arms to rotate all the way around. He's got a swivel in the bicep area. He's also got a bend at the elbow. There is also a swivel right where the gauntlet starts. Right here, there's a swivel there that you can rotate the hand. You're gonna have to maybe heat these a bit and just get them to bend them back into shape. The same articulation would be the same on this arm, even though he doesn't have that glove. He has a swivel in the waist. He also has a rotation in the leg, a swivel back and forth on the leg. The leg doesn't appear to bend out. He also has a very loose, unfortunately, swivel in the upper thigh area. No bend in the knee, but he does also have a swivel, what appears to be a swivel in his calf, as well as a bend. It almost looks like he's got a ball-jointed ankle, because it can bend up and down, it can rotate. It also has a swivel back and forth. There's a lot of articulation in the leg. Unfortunately, the character suffers from the fact that the figure suffers from the fact that he doesn't have any knee articulation, so he's always in this kind of crouched, kind of creeping position. Unfortunately, I'm also noticing that this thigh is extremely loose, and something that is not, unfortunately, going to get any bit better. It's going to get worse. But let's actually get the figure back on his display stand. One thing also I've noticed is that the hole on the bottom of the foot seems to be a little bit smaller than the peg that's on this display stand. So you kind of have to put a little bit of extra pressure on it to get him to stand. But once on there, well, I happen to think he looks pretty impressive. There we go. Very neat. Scarecrow, I like quite a bit. I'm not really a fan of the articulation in the legs because it's difficult, it seems, to get him just right. But I think overall it's a decent figure. And if I could give him any sort of rating, I think I would probably give him about a 7.5. Maybe an 8. I'm going to give him a 7.5. A good figure. I think pretty much a good overall wave. I mean, you know, none of the figures have really disappointed me in this wave. I am looking forward to getting the Series 2 reviewed for you guys. Certainly getting those opened up for myself as well. I'm very excited about getting those all shot. But a great wave overall. Today's Toy Spot, we were looking at the DC Direct Arkham Asylum Series 1 figures. We were looking today at Scarecrow. I thank you guys for watching. Let me know down below what you guys think of this wave. Maybe let me know what you guys think of what is the best figure from this wave. And I thank you guys, as always, for sticking around and watching this channel. Stay tuned for more Toy Spots, and I'll see you guys next time.